Hello everybody, so today I wanted to go through all of my Atari controllers that are not in storage. So this will be fun to go through. I just kind of wanted to show my whole collection of Atari controllers. There's going to be some Coleco, basically anything that's in the age range of like between the Colecovision and the Odyssey 2, even though I don't think there's any Odyssey stuff in here, but there might be, who knows. So yeah, just kind of wanted to show you guys what all I have in these bins. Before we go through the drawers and everything, I kind of wanted to show what I actually use. And then in these are just kind of like extra things that I also like use for like multiplayer, like different options. So for the 2600, just I use the classic joystick. I like for the most part, I like to use official controllers for the systems. I don't know, it just feels more authentic that way, I guess. But there's nothing special about this joystick. It's in good shape and works really well. That's about all I can say about it. Oh yeah, and there's stuff under here I could show too. So for 5200, this is probably the most unique thing that I use in terms of controllers. I use the Wiko keypad because the original controllers are garbage, so I use this. Command control. And these are very hard to come by. I have a few of them, and I can't get rid of them because, I don't know. I know I'm never going to find any more, and if this one fails, that would really suck. So, I like to keep a few on hand, and same with the Wiko, I don't know, the bat. This is not the bat controller, but this is really the best way, in my opinion, to play the 5200, or at least one of the best ways, at the very least. For the Atari computers, I just use the 2600 joystick. I actually normally just unplug that one, put it in there. And then television, obviously they're built in, but I do have these little joysticks that I use, so might as well mention that. 7800 basic controller, is there's not really many other options for that system. In Coleco, I normally will be using the regular joysticks. I also have the racing wheel. And I need to get my trackball out of storage. I have the roller controller that I need to start using, but it's somewhere in bins, so who knows where that is. And then under here is all of my trackballs. So this one I mainly use in the 2600. And same with this one, and Atari 8-bit computer, Centipede, Missile Command, 5200, got one trackball here. I think, nope, there's one more 2600 trackball. I don't really like this one as much. I don't like the buttons on it as much as these other ones. This one has the best like movement, the Wiko one. But I don't know, I like this one the most, I think. Probably just because this one's in the best condition, so it works the best, but who knows. That's probably my least favorite. This one probably is my favorite. These two are pretty close, I'd say. If I'm playing a trackball game, I pretty much just grab one and it's do pretty good with me. So yeah, so that's some of the trackballs that I own. Yeah, so in these drawers, this top drawer might be a little more interesting, I guess, for the 5200. This is a PC adapter that these used to be on Atari Age. I don't think they make them anymore. But I also have a 7800 version of these, which is up there, which will allow you to use the 7800 controller on the 5200, and you also plug the 5200 controller into the adapter to use the keypad, and that's the same way this works. So I have this Microsoft PC Joystick, and it's analog, so it actually will work with a lot of the games. And then you plug your PC controller goes here, and then your 5200 controller goes here, so you get all the keypad functions. So yeah, these are really cool. Again, hard to kind of find now, but these are really, if you can get your hands on those, they're really worth having. Same with this. So this allows you to plug a 2600 controller into your 5200, and then this you put your 5200 controller and you get the keypads. This little thing here, I believe there was like a little button that you could plug into here and add it to your 2600 controller, so it would be like a 2-button thing. I don't really have the button, I don't think, unless it might actually be on one of those controllers, I can't remember, but so that's that. Again, these are super, super, super expensive. You just don't find them ever. They're hard to even find online. that shows you how hard to get they are, I guess. And then this holds 2 5200 controllers for what's the game called? Robotron and that Space Dungeon, I think it's called, which I really like that game. But I never use this because the original controllers, they suck. I normally I'll literally plug in 2 of these. So like I'll have 2 keypads and 2 of those Wiko controllers if I was gonna play one of those games. Yeah, I believe it's Space Dungeon. That's the other name of the game. That's actually probably my favorite game on the system. I always forget the name of it. Everything was a space game back then. And then everything in here should pretty much be Atari. So this is an original NES controller, which I modded to work on the 2600. So it doesn't work on the 7800 as a 2-button controller. I tried to do it, I couldn't really figure it out, so I was just like, whatever. So I made it for the 2600, and basically any console that uses like a 1-button joystick, so like Commodore, it'll work, you know, anything like that. So this is a working official 5200 controller, just in case the Wiko doesn't work well on one of the games, even though they normally do. But I do have a couple that are, I think all the ones in these drawers and all, like, they're all working, at least partially. This one I know is fully working because I do use it occasionally. And then we got the classics, the classic paddles. These have been opened up and refurbished by me, and they work great. So perfect for Kaboom and those other games that you need the paddles. But yeah, so I really like these controllers. These are one reason why it's really nice to have an original 2600, other than playing on emulation and all those other ways. You can't emulate these well. I mean, a computer mouse, I guess, kind of, but I don't know. I really like just having the real paddles. I think that's really important. And then this is, I can get it out here, another PC controller for that adapter. So you got the nice wide range. You can adjust the XY axis. You got your buttons. I actually prefer to use this one over the Microsoft one. Quick shot, something. Doesn't say the model, but if you just type in, oh, there it is. There's your model. I'm sure they're really, honestly, pretty cheap on eBay, probably like 15 bucks, 10 bucks. And then this is one of my favorite joysticks right here, the Slick Stick. This is a fantastic joystick for the 2600 and any other compatible things. They're just super high quality, and they feel like real, I can't say they feel like arcade joysticks, but it feels nice, I guess. Suncom, they make some of the best joysticks for sure. And these are really repairable too. Like when they don't work, you just open it up, there's some metal, like gold-plated contacts, you clean them off, and they're normally pretty good. Yeah, so this is definitely top 5 joysticks in this video. This is definitely one for me. Yeah, so those are great. I definitely have many of those. This next one, another Suncom joystick. This is the TAC 2. This is a similar joystick to that one, but I don't know. I just never got into this one as much. I don't know why. Maybe because it's missing some rubber feet. It's annoying, but no, this is also a really nice joystick, and I mean, I'll use it very rarely, but I mean, I get why a lot of people like it. I just prefer this one. I don't know why, but this is very similar to that. It has the same kind of internals. Again, very repairable. Very all-around, very, very nice joystick. And looks like we got another standard Joystick. Just nothing special about it. Another official controller. And then they're all tangled up. Okay. We got the Star Raiders gamepad. Well, I guess it's called the video touchpad technically, but mainly used for Star Raiders. We got the overlay here. It's kind of cool. They're pretty common, but nice to have. Another one of my favorites, QuickShot 2 Plus. Very high quality. This one has the suction cups, which I don't use because I don't have like a table to put them on or anything. So any of these with suction cups, like this one actually also has the suction cups as well. I don't use them, but if you want to, you can. And this one has the micro switches, so it's very satisfying. And again, very good controller. And a lot of what's also good about these third-party ones is a lot of times they'll have longer cables, even though you have to be closer to your 2600 to hit the switches. But I always use an extension. Actually, I didn't mention this on the 2600 and Colecovision, and most of these I have extensions because I want to sit more than 3 feet away from the system. I know I have to hit the switches and stuff, but I always just like to have more freedom, I guess, to move around. Yeah, this is another really good one. All these ones in this drawer I really like. That's why I have them in here mainly. Like, these are the ones I actually could see myself using pretty much. This is for the ColecoVision, another Wiko controller. Obviously they make really good joysticks. I always thought this button up here was kind of a strange choice for this, but other than that, this is awesome. Like the keypad buttons, they feel so nice. And then side buttons, pretty stiff. I don't know, this one has some drawbacks, but it's a nice alternative. And I like this joystick better than the kind of like, I don't know what you would even call those. Like, they're not even joysticks. It's not like a D-pad. I don't know. I like this better than the original Coleco controller, like this long design. But these buttons are just kind of, I don't know. Again, it's okay for sure. It's not bad. And then here's the Wiko bat top. So this is for the 2600 and other compatible things. Yeah, so when I say 2600 and compatibles, I'm talking about basically anything that uses a one-button joystick, which is tons of things from pre-NES. Most things pre-NES that didn't have keypads. So again, this is just a nice, well-rounded option. Like, it's very good. Like, I guess I don't know what else to say about it. It's high quality, very good. It's metal shaft, so it's not cheaply made. It wasn't garbage, but yeah, these are definitely another great option. And they're very comfortable to use, I feel, because they're taller, I guess. This is also probably my top 5 for the 2600. This 500 XJ by Epix. Very strange design. You'd look at this and be like, oh, that thing's gotta be cheap garbage, you know, for player 2. But this is like, I love this thing. You hold it with your left hand, assuming that you're right-handed. If you weren't right-handed, this might not be the best. But so you hold it with your left hand and hit this button with your middle finger or pointer, whatever you want to do. I always use my middle finger, I guess, for it. And then your right hand, you use the joystick. So you could actually use it one-handed too, I guess, like this. But it has the nice clicky joystick. Again, very worthwhile the controller here for sure. Another Wiko. This one is the Boss, I believe, the Wiko Boss controller. It doesn't say that, but I'm 99% sure. Yep, there it is right there. Boss. So I have the cable wrapped very sloppily around it, but it's kind of just got like a grip. Try to unwind it a little bit. Just got like a kind of like a pistol grip kind of style, like a flight stick. Very comfortable, nice clicky buttons. It doesn't click though, the movement. The Wikos normally, none of them do that at all. Like this one's the same kind of thing. Like, that's the only thing I don't like about these. It's not very, like, when you move in a direction, it's not very satisfying, I guess. But these are very good joysticks, though. Don't get me wrong. Very heavy and very nice, made in the USA. So you know it's got to be somewhat quality. Yeah, so again, very nice option here. I actually might prefer this one slightly to the bat top. Might be a little strange, but I don't know. I just feel it's a little bit more comfortable to use. And I'm not really a big fan of that button on that controller. I don't know why. I always use the top one. And then we got a driving controller. So a lot of people get these confused with the paddles, thinking they're the same thing. But paddles come in pairs, and these are used for completely different games. So the paddles, when you rotate them, they stops. Like you rotate it, it stops. Rotate it, stops both ways. These spin forever. Keep going and going and going and going. It'll never stop. So these are for some driving games, like Indy 500 comes to mind, of course. That was like the pack-in with these, but you know, these aren't super used. Like, there's not many games that even support these, but for what they are, I think they're cool and just a little kind of different from there. So that's all that's in there, besides a little cable tie. So I'm going to put all these back, and we'll move over there. Okay, it's everything off the drawers. You can see very, very caved in there. These are heavy, I guess, but we got a 5200 trackball, another one. Why do I have two? I don't know. Excuse is if the other one breaks, I got this one. So it's got the plastic on it, I guess, still. And yeah, I always liked that these had the cable routing underneath. It's just kind of a nice thing to have. I mean, it's so big, I guess you got to add some kind of extra thing like that. So yeah, here's the cardboard box that was up there. So I guess we'll just kind of go through these. This I just got recently in a lot. It's an Archer joystick. I believe it's brand new. I think this is like the original cable tie that was still on it. And I tried it out in the extension cable thing, so I could actually use it. This thing's like super, super, super responsive. I think it's just because it's new. I kind of like it though. I mean, it feels kind of cheap. I imagine it would break quickly, but yeah, it's really not. It's not bad, really. I think it's. I'm assuming this was pretty cheap back in the day, so for the price of it, yeah, it's pretty good. And then they're not worth much nowadays either, so that's actually a pretty good thing to get. So this is a stick stand. I actually have a couple of these. I don't know where the other one is, but let me get a standard kind of joystick here, even though this is not standard. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. So these, you would just pop your 2600 controller in there, put this ball on top, I guess, and it basically just makes it to where you can play it while sitting the joystick down, because before they rock around a lot. Like, it's, you know, you can't really, it's not as nice, I guess. I thought this was kind of dumb when I first got it, but I actually really like this. I think this was actually a really good idea. And I mean, I'm not going to act like it's a game changer, but if you find one of these for cheap, try it out, because it's actually not as bad as it may look. And why I was saying this wasn't standard is because this is actually a heavy sixer joystick, and there is a difference. So the differences are, in the inside, it's insane, the difference. There's like, on these controllers, it's basically just plastic that just pushes down these little silver contacts. These have like big springs, and you can hear clicks the button, and then this one's kind of worn out, but it should click in every direction. The down doesn't click very good, and it kind of squeaks, but this does work. It's very worn out. You can tell it's been used a lot. And then on the top of the joystick, if I can get this to focus on this, I don't think I'm going to be able to, but it's kind of caved in compared to the regular one, where it's just flat on top. And then these regular ones, there's no click to these buttons. So kind of cool. These are actually, they're kind of unreliable, I find. It's probably just because they're extra old, but when they work, like, that is so much nicer feeling than these buttons. It's just a lot more. I used to actually use this exact one. This used to be like my main controller, but I don't know. It's kind of like a little bit finicky. It's just, I don't know. I guess I prefer the regular ones a little bit. But this is very cool. Kind of definitely something to look out for if you're in like a game store or something. They're not gonna mark these up, and they are worth a lot more than the regular ones. So keep your eye out for these for sure. Just go around clicking the buttons, and if you're looking on eBay, just look for the indent in the top up here. There is a Sears joystick that does have this indent, and it doesn't have the clicking, so that's just, you might get screwed by doing that, but most of the time it is these heavy sixer joysticks. So this is another standard one, but there's all like kind of different variations. Like I think this may have been like a later Sears joystick. I'm not sure, but it just has extra movement. The like contacts feel different. Like it feels completely different from this controller. Like this one, the joystick barely moves. Like this is like your more classic joystick, and this is like, it moves a lot. It's not fake though. It's actually 100% real, but just the plug. It just says Atari on it. Yeah, so kind of interesting. Another one of these Wiko Coleco controllers. Again, there's going to be a lot of duplicates here. Obviously, I don't have this many unique controllers, but so for the duplicates, I'll just kind of skip past them. And so, yeah. So this is a Sears Video Arcade 2 controller, which I actually don't own the system that matches this, but this was a variant of the 2600 that it like uses the shell of like the 7800 and has 4 controller ports. It's strange. I want to get one day for sure. So what's kind of cool, I hate this controller. Like it's not really my favorite to use. 2 buttons for some reason. I guess if you're left or right handed. And then the joystick, no click to it at all. But what's kind of unique about it is you can twist this and it acts as a paddle, which I imagine is why they had 4 controller ports. So you could do like Warlords 4 players, because these aren't in pairs, which the normal paddles are. So I don't know. Very interesting. This one's not in the best shape, but it does work. So, and then this, I've actually never tried before. I don't know why. I got them and just never tried it. But this, I have some with the stickers, but they're in storage, I think. And there's also a little thing that goes over this that this one particular one's missing. But this is for the Colecovision. You got buttons here, and I'm assuming, I don't know what these would do. I honestly don't know. I like the keypad. I'm assuming this is for Coleco. It has to be, but I don't know. I know these are expensive, but it just feels cheap to me. I never even bothered trying it. I mean, I don't know. Just let me know in the comments if it's something I gotta try out, if it's a missing out. But it's strange. Like, I don't know how I feel about it, because there's 2600 controllers that are basically just like this bottom part. You basically cut off right here, and it's just the little part. You'll see that eventually. They're in here somewhere. And here's a normal 2600 controller, but this is for the Vader because it has no orange. So it's for the black Atari 2600, and there's also no rubber feet. So yeah, kind of interesting there. Yeah, so let's see what's next. Another Vader joystick. Another set of paddles. And then we got many of these. So some of these, the locks are broke. Oh, yeah, I didn't even talk about the locks, but you can adjust the X and Y axis here, so if it's like kind of drifting up or drifting down, you can adjust that. And then these locks, so if you unlock it, it'll just be free flowing like this. Like you can just move it. Yeah, this one has broken locks. So let's unlock both of these. And then now we got a completely free flowing joystick. It's kind of hard to show this with one hand. Completely free flowing here. Doesn't recenter, and then if you turn both the locks on, it should recenter like this one over here. So it just goes right back to the center. So like missile command, you'd want it like this, and like for like Pac-Man, you'd want it centered. So just kind of like an example there. Another one of those. Oh yeah, actually, I knocked this one out. So this is Suncom. I believe Suncom makes this. Yes, they do. a joy sensor. So this is for the Coleco, and this is absolutely dreadful to use. Never use one of these ever. Don't buy this. It's horrible. It's kind of like that Turbo Touch 360 for the Sega Genesis. It's bad. It's just like a touch screen, and then it's just really weird. I'm just noticing, where's the button? Like, how are you supposed to use the buttons on this thing? Oh, up here? Oh my god. I haven't used this thing in a long time, obviously, but I basically tested it and it worked, and then I threw it in this box because to never be used again. So it looks like there's like turbo functions, which I'm assuming is what this switch is down here. Like turbo on, turbo off, who knows. Your fire buttons are up top for some reason, which they normally are on the sides. And I don't, this is probably the worst controller out of any of these. And here's a regular Coleco controller. Another Wicco one of these. God, maybe I should sell some of these. This is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. This is the Competition Pro Joystick for the 5200. Again, you'll see I have several of these. They're awesome. They're close to that. But the only thing that sucks about these is they don't support analog. So basically you won't be able to play most games. But for like Pac-Man and like, I don't know, Defender or something like that, this is awesome. It's got the clicky joystick. So like your more arcade style games like Miner 2049er, this is better for sure. And it splits off. Cords are kind of tangled here. Let's see if I can get it. Splits off into this, which looks kind of strange. So you plug a 5200 controller into here, and then you'll get your start, on all that, and the keypad, and then right here is where it goes into the system. So kind of interesting. What sucks though about these third-party controllers, if you don't have this keypad, like with these, you can there's a Y cable, which it'll be in these drawers or this box here, but you need a 5200 controller that at least the buttons work, which normally that's what fails. So these kind of suck. If you don't have a working 5200 controller, these are pointless. You can't even use them. And if you don't have this, well, this one you literally need a working 5200 controller. So it's hard to recommend, I guess, because these are like $100. Like, these are not cheap joysticks. But if you have a working 5200 controller and you like arcade style games a lot, then yes, I would recommend it. But which I'm assuming if you own Atari systems, you probably like arcade style games. So it's kind of a redundant question, I guess. A few extension cables. Oh, here's one of those Y cables I was talking about, I think. Or no, this just goes to another one of those joysticks. Yeah, it goes to this. So another one of those. Another keypad, 5200, paddles, another joystick. This might be all duplicates. There's like a 5200 power supply in there. Another one of these stupid things. Another TAC2. Another bat top. So all these are the smooth ones, but there's ones that have little ridges, and there's ones you can switch the tops out. There's different versions, but they're all pretty similar. So another bat top. And some power supplies. Doesn't look like there's anything else unique in here. More basic paddles. There is paddle variations too, which I'll show you eventually. But yeah, so let's move on to one of the drawers. All right, first drawer down. See what's in here. I see a couple things that we haven't seen yet. So this actually is funny because we found this before the original, because these are actually pretty uncommon. The Jumpstick 2, which the Jumpstick is just like a cheap, basically just an original Atari controller, just made by a different company, pretty much. I forget who made these. It wasn't Suncom, I don't think. I forget, but this is basically the same thing as the original controller, but it has 2 buttons and a crack. I just noticed it sucks, but it's the only one I've ever gotten, so whatever. So yeah, I guess if you like 2 buttons that do the same thing, I guess this is for you. And then we got the kids controller. It's the official Atari thing. Got the overlays here. This is basically just one of the Star Raiders, the video touchpads, but it's just bigger, and you use these overlays to play the games. And on the back of it, it also has the little cable routing thing similar to the 5200 Trackball, which is right here, which I didn't use, I guess. When I put it away, I will use that. I might actually go through all these and rubber band all the cords up just to make them look a little nicer. Same with here. God, this is pretty messy. And then a keyboard controller, which is basically that, and is basically the Star Raiders thing, but you can link them together. And they have these little chiclet clicky buttons. I actually like these probably the most out of the number pads for the 2600. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, but these slide together. Let me do it quickly. And there they are. So this was for like basic programming, which I don't even own, and then I don't know, probably other games too, but yeah, I don't know. This one has a stamp on the back and the other one doesn't, and they different textures. I don't know. Atari's strange, little variations, which is that's why I like collecting this stuff. There's just so many little different things, which is when I have all these duplicate controllers, there's probably little things that are different about them, maybe. And this is a heavy 6er joystick, I can tell just by looking at it. Yeah, this is a nice one. Pretty good shape. Needs it clean, but it's in good shape nonetheless. And then these little grabbers, I like these. You just get a 2600 controller and you just pop these on top and you got a ball top. And they don't fall off like I thought. You know, this is kind of like the stick stand where I got them and I'm like, it's kind of just like a gimmick. But these, it is a gimmick, but they're not horrible. They're better than I thought. I have 2 of those. Yeah, it's like a little Pac-Man almost. So it's a regular joystick. I don't know why I still have some of these with the worn off lettering. I probably should just, like, I get them all the time that are like perfect. I need to switch them out. Here's a nice looking one. This is cool right here. This is for the Gemini Atari 2600, which is another variant that was made by Coleco, and Atari actually sued Coleco, I believe, for this. But this controller, I'm not a fan of it, but it is unique. So this joystick, which is kind of weird, like it self-centers, but it feels like an analog stick, even though it's not. It's strange. Button on the left side, not on the right, and then a singular paddle, which is not a driving, it's just a regular paddle. The sticker's kind of worn there. But yeah, interesting, I guess. I mean, it's not my favorite. 5200 controller, another heavy 6er joystick. I pretty much keep most of these that I get. Yeah, here's another one right here, another heavy 6er. Another one of these. These are awesome. This one's kind of worn in the top, but that's okay. This is actually the first one of these I got, and I use this one a lot. Especially when I first got the system. Here's one of these little power sticks, which is basically what I was talking about with this one here. You can see where the Coleco version and the inspiration came from. These suck, basically. Never use this. Driving controller. There's Atari controllers that have different plug ends. I'm trying to see if there's any in here. Are these ones? No. These are Gemini Paddles. So these were marketed at the Coleco Gemini. So, cool. Got no cutout for the stickers here that the normal ones have. I got more of those, I believe. Oh, that's interesting. This one, the name's in the top. Oh, so is this one. I thought it was in the bottom. Okay. Never mind. Okay, this is cool. Got Sears Paddles. So these would have been with the Sears, the video arcade, the Sears video arcade. These would have been bundled with, I'm assuming. Or maybe they were, I'm assuming the heavy 6er Sears these were bundled with, but I could be wrong. They may have just been sold separate. None of these had the different plugs. I feel like over here there may have been some that had different plugs. None of these? No. Okay, I'll be back when I find the other plugs I'm talking about. Okay, I may have found why these have different textures. It's because there is a variant here. So there's, I don't know why. Someone in the comments tell me what the backstory is behind this. But this is the plug on the end. Like, it's strange. Like, this is, it's hard with one hand here, but the original one looks like this. You know, it says Atari and looks like that. What is the backstory behind this? There's keyboard controllers that have this, I've seen. Paddles, I think, that have this. Driving controllers definitely have had this, that I've seen in the past. Maybe not the paddles. I believe I've even seen regular joysticks with this, so very strange. If anyone knows why this plug exists, let me know. Very curious. And then also, while I was looking for that, notice down here there was original Jumpstick. So these are nice. I don't have any problem with these, but they're nothing to talk about. They're nothing to write home about, pretty much. They're just very uninteresting controllers. So yeah, just take the rest of this out and put it over here. I'm gonna wrap all these cords, and maybe I'll make that the thumbnail. I don't know, but there's the DS stylus at the bottom. So next drawer, I'll just take it out on camera, whatever. Okay, another stick stand. Quick shot 2. See some interesting stuff in here. 7800 controllers. Because why not? 2600 standard controller. So this is a Suncom TAC 3. So we saw the TAC 2, so this is the TAC 3. But the TAC 3 sucks compared to the TAC 2. I can't say it sucks, but it just feels cheap compared to Suncom's other joysticks. Like, this is a fail, in my opinion, compared to the Slick Stick and all that. This is trash compared to those, but it's not bad in its own right, but, like, there's no click or any, I don't know. And this just doesn't feel like a Suncom product, pretty much. Not awful, but definitely not great either. Boss controller, and we actually have the manual for that. The TAC 3, I believe. So cool. And then this is actually for the NES, so it's not supposed to be in here. Actually, might be a few things that aren't supposed to be in here. Take that out, I guess. This is the Genesis third-party controller. I don't know why this is in here. I haven't actually, like, I never go in these drawers. Like, I literally just go in those drawers, and I just have the joysticks that I actually like using. So these are just more like a collection, pretty much. Fighter pad for Genesis, which you can't use this on Atari, so I guess I can see why I have this in here, but why use this over the original controller, I don't know. I don't like using the Genesis controller on the 2600 just because, I don't know, I've heard a rumor that if you hit like start and like some other button, it'll like fry the system. I'm assuming that's just a rumor, but I don't know, I just don't risk it. And I made that NES controller, so I'm good with that, really. But this is a wireless 2600 controller, so these are labeled right and left. You have to actually have the proper ones. Sunnyvale, California. I don't know where it says, but it says it on here somewhere. These take 9-volt batteries, so that's basically a deal breaker. That's so annoying. It's who uses 9-volt batteries anymore, but kind of funny. They have the big antenna, so you got, you know, I got a bunch of these in here. And then here's the receivers right here. So you plug your power. So basically, this is your left controller, so you plug that in the left controller port on the Atari, right controller port on the Atari. This goes into the power port of your Atari, and then your power cord that you would normally have in your Atari goes in here, so it actually passes through this. And then this antenna, you know, extends out just like, you know, a radio or anything, RC car or whatever. So I got a couple of those. They work reasonably well. I don't hate them. And, you know, definitely something that I enjoy owning. It's kind of interesting, I guess, for history of wireless controllers, but definitely interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna clear an area here. We're getting full, and I will take this other drawer out. So basically what I'm going to do at the end is I'm going to wrap all these up, maybe organize them, like put all the regular official Atari stuff in one drawer, all the paddles in one drawer, and then all like third party in another drawer. I don't know how that will work out, but we'll see. Last drawer. So bat top, probably a lot of duplicates here. Here's a Craft controller. This one, the button always sticks, like a lot of times. Did it once right when I first hit it. I cleaned it and made it better. These are kind of just your typical kind of not the best kind of joysticks. I think these are more marketed towards Commodore computers, but you know, they work fine on 2600. Just no like satisfying clicks, or it's just very unsatisfying. And then these are for changing between 8 and 4-way gates, which that's kind of a cool feature, but in my experience, you can't even feel like the gates. Like, it's just, I don't know, not a big fan. Here's the Archer. Is this the exact same as that other one that was I thought was new earlier? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it. So another one of these. This one's button does not feel satisfying at all. I'm surprised that even works, honestly. It must, because it's in here. Point Master joystick. These, not, you know, again, not my favorite. Kind of light. It's made by Disc Washer. Interesting. The joystick moves way too much, in my opinion, for not being analog. It feels like it should be analog, but it's not. It's just little contacts in there, but it just moves a lot. I don't know. Button feels like crap, and it's really small. And the whole thing just weighs nothing, so not my favorite, but again, I like owning it. Here's a Gemini controller. Buttons don't feel great, at least, you know, this could be relative to these particular controllers. You know, these are the only ones I have experience with. So yours, bottom button down here might feel really good. Mine does just no satisfaction to it. This one feels pretty good. And then again, a lot of travel, which I'm not a huge fan of for non-analog controllers. Nice little rubber feet on the bottom. I kind of like the base though. It's kind of bigger, which I do like. Quick Shot 2. This is kind of cool. This is one of the many like retractable joysticks, I guess you could say. This one feels like junk. I don't even remember owning this, but I guess I do. So you can just pull out the cord and then you spin the joystick and it retracts into the controller. Yeah, just like that. Two little like M&M sized buttons, little tiny horrible buttons, and then this one up here, which you probably would rather use. And the movement, like these always just don't feel good. Their whole gimmick is that they can be retractable, and then the actual controller just ends up being garbage. So, you know, cool, but that's about all I can say about it. Cool to look at. Here's another little cheapo. Doesn't even have a brand. Made in Hong Kong. So I see these a lot. I don't know. Little interesting design there, I guess. Button doesn't feel good. There's like no base at all. Like, how are you even supposed to use this thing? Like, you're not gonna plant it on the ground, and I don't know. Button. These aren't great either. Here's a different color of basically that same one, but this is the Gemstick version, mini Gemstick. The buttons feel a little nicer than that other one. By the other one I'm talking about, the Power Stick. So similar, but a little bigger joystick here. But again, not something you're really gonna want to be using. It's more just like, it's small, it's cool, but that's about it. Another Gemstick. Here's the top of a 2600 controller. Oh, these are cool. This is basically a slick stick, but with a different like shaft, I guess, a different joystick head. Same kind of button as the slick stick. The base looks exactly the same. So, of course, I'm gonna like this one, but I prefer the ball on the top, but this is definitely, these are pretty rare. You don't see those too much. But there's two here. I got two of them. But yeah, so this Jumpstick, now there's nothing really to say. Here's basically the bat top controller, which is right there, but with a ball on the top. But it doesn't feel like how you would think it would feel. It's not like it doesn't feel like an arcade joystick. It doesn't have any clicking or, I don't know. Not bad. Just I prefer the bat tops over this, but you know, they perform the same really. Just a little more comfortable, I guess. Then here's the Gem grip. A lot of Gemini stuff here, but basically the grabbers just rebadged, I guess. Here's the Commodore Joystick. I believe this was actually packaged for the VIC-20 because it has this gold plating, but it's literally just a 2600 controller, just in a different shell. Like, this is identical, this shell. These are a little different, these circles, but the bottom looks identical, and it feels the same when you use it. So, kind of cool. Again, you don't see those too much. It's another Archer, yeah. Two more of these. 5200 controllers, another Jumpstick. And so yeah, that's pretty much all the controllers that are up here, at least in my room. So I think now it's time to wrap all these up, make it look a lot tidier than this, and maybe get a little organized. So I'll do that and probably show some clips. Okay, so I'm in the middle wrapping all these up, but I found something that I wanted to show that I couldn't find earlier. So I do have this adapter for that little button port. I actually do have it. I thought it was on one of these controllers, I just couldn't remember. So it's actually on a bat controller, and someone has used adhesive to put it right here, but it fell off. So this would give you the second button functionality on the 5200. They just electrical taped the cord all the way down until here's the normal plug, and then here's the little thing there. So pretty cool. Probably pretty uncommon to actually find the button, but yeah, so just wanted to show that, and if I find anything else, I'll let you know. But we're making progress. Okay, another thing. I found the driving controller with that strange plug end, so figured I'd show that. And if I find any more with this plug, I'll definitely show you. Okay, they're all laid out. Here they all are, all nice and wrapped up. So I figured I'd give one more kind of look over all of them before I put them all back in the drawers. So all of these, it's nothing that is in these drawers and nothing that I use. It's literally all that was just right there. So I figured I'd just give one little pan over them one last time before I put them all away. And I really appreciate you guys for watching and subscribing. I'm honestly shocked with how many people have actually watched these videos, and I really appreciate it. And you know, the comments and stuff, I really appreciate it. So yeah, so I'll just keep making videos, and thank you guys so much for the support. And yeah, so thanks so much.